Alright, Scott here from Rebellious Noise Pro Wrestling. It is time for Survivor Series WarGames predictions. And the first one we're going to talk about is the women's WarGames match. This is all kind of leading towards something between Bayley and the rest of her crew, right? They clearly think she was to do with the situation where Jade Cargill got taken out. And I do think that storyline is going to continue for quite some time and probably eventually lead to something to do with Bianca Belair. But at the moment they seem to think it's Bayley, and I think it's going to be too obvious. So I think what they need to do is have Bayley win as a legit member of that team and kind of be cooling down that suspicion for a while. But basically I think that the good guys need to win this one. Now anytime someone with the Money in the Bank briefcase is around, you have to think this could be a chance for them to cash in, right? And with a big match like WarGames, could this be the time where we see it? Because Nia Jax, going by my prediction, will be on the losing team. Now she's the one that's most taken damage at the end of that match. Will be a good opportunity, right, for Tiffany to rise from the ashes herself and quickly get the pin on her friend. Maybe.
Okay, so here are my prediction for what will go down at WWE WarGames, beginning with the Women's WarGames contest. I found out Bianca Belair actually has like the most amount of wins on a pay-per-view this year or something, or on the women's roster. So does this continue at this one? Let's go with yes. So yeah, I think that team's going to win. Check out my video about other WarGames matches.
So these are my predictions for Survivor Series 2024. We have first of all the women's WarGames match. Rhea Ripley, Bianca Belair, Naomi, Io Sky and Bayley taking on the team of Liv Morgan, Raquel Rodriguez, Nia Jax, Tiffany Stratton and Candice LeRae. Now I feel as though this is going to be a fairly straightforward win, but it's going to go to the returning Rhea Ripley and her team. I can also see Tiffany Stratton attempting a Money in the Bank cash-in.
Next up is the World Heavyweight Championship being defended by Gunther against Damian Priest once again. And sadly, once again. Now, as much as I like both these guys and I'm sure they could have a good match once again, there's not a lot riding on it, which sounds weird to say, right? The world title is riding on it, but it doesn't feel that way because Damian Priest isn't winning. If they do have a big shock here, then that'll be fantastic, and I'll be coming out of the show thinking, wow, there's a big surprise there. But all signs point to Gunther having another lengthy reign, maybe not as long as the NXT UK title, maybe not as long as his IC title reign, but it does feel it's going to be a bit longer than it has been so far. So for that reason, I don't see it being taken off of him just yet, and I definitely don't see it being taken off of him by someone that he took the title from in the first place, in Damian Priest. So for me, Gunther's winning this one. Then
the next contest is between Gunther and Damian Priest. Now I've got to sound a bit disappointed by this one. Like, why are they just redoing this again? Is it because there's no one else, or they win all the WarGames matches? It's a bit of a dead match. I don't see Gunther just losing to the guy who he only just beat a couple of months ago. It doesn't interest me much, this match at all. But I think Gunther is the better of the two options.
The next one, we are going to go with Gunther versus Damian Priest. Now, on this one, I feel as though Gunther is still going to be coming out of Survivor Series WarGames as your WWE World Heavyweight Champion.
The OG Bloodline going up against the new Bloodline and friends. Well, I say friends because CM Punk is the one in the fold for the OGs, and that's a little bit of a spanner in the works. Of course, on the opposite side, we've got Bronson Reed, and that'll be interesting to see how that plays out. But CM Punk is the big storyline here because it felt like recently it could lead to a scenario where Sami Zayn turns on the OG Bloodline. As much as I don't want that, I also do want that. I think that'd be a great shocking moment. I didn't want him to turn before joining them, and now that he's done it, we've had that. That's out of the way. I would be happy seeing Sami Zayn turn heel. But now we've got Punk in this scenario. Does Punk turn heel? Does Heyman turn? There was that whole situation with the phone and not being able to connect on Roman Reigns. Some people did think that was to do with Sami Zayn. Now it looks like maybe Heyman maybe was part of that. Who knows? The bad guys have got to win this one. I think it's got to be the new Bloodline because there are so many variables within the OG Bloodline team, possible turns and things like that. I don't know which one we're going to see, or if any. I do think though that the new Bloodline needs to pick up a win, and I think they will do.
Now for the meat and gravy, the main event. Well, what we think the main event is the Bloodline versus the other Bloodline, I guess you could call it. I think that the new Bloodline's kind of got to win. Oh, it's a really hard one. And there's a lot of moving parts of WarGames matches, which is what makes it really, really difficult to predict. Obviously, who has the advantage, which order they come in, are they going to have a replacement or anything go on? Because there seems a lot on in this match and what's happened afterwards. I think I'll go with the new Bloodline, or the current Bloodline, I guess, to win. And I think they need to kind of be cohesive and win, but it's a hard one, because do you really see Roman Reigns get losing? Oh, cannot be a draw. No, I mean, I'll go with the new Bloodline, led by the Tongans and Sikoa.
Next up, we have the men's WarGames match. Roman Reigns teaming with the Usos, Sami Zayn and the returning CM Punk, with Paul Heyman taking on Sikoa, Tonga Loa, Tama Tonga, Jacob Fatu and Big Bronson Reed. This one I feel is going to be a straightforward win for the team of Roman Reigns, the Usos, Sami Zayn and CM Punk. Not sure what Paul Heyman's going to do in this, but I feel that as though Heyman is going to have some kind of interference in the main finish of the match.
IC title on the line between Bron Breakker, Sheamus and Ludwig Kaiser. Looking forward to this match. I think the three of them going together in this triple threat is going to be something quite exciting to watch. Who's going to win though? Now it feels a bit weird if Bron does lose, because we're kind of hot potato in the title there, right? Because he's only just got it back from previously losing it to Jey Uso. But I could kind of see a title change here. Now Sheamus feels like a great story, but that's not the story they're telling at the moment. Remember when he was going up against Gunther, the whole story was about how Sheamus had never had that title. And I do hope that day does come. But at the moment, the person who I think would look really good with it on their shoulder or around their waist would be Ludwig Kaiser. It feels like he's about to break into that next level, and what better way than by giving him the Workhorse Championship, the IC title going around the waist of Ludwig, in my opinion.
Intercontinental Championship, as Bron Breakker will be defending against two people actually, Ludwig Kaiser and Sheamus. Now this makes sense obviously to have two Imperium members on the show, and I think they're doing a kind of storyline at the moment between Ludwig and Gunther. This leads into my prediction really, because I think Ludwig losing is going to be the kind of motivation for him and Gunther storyline to accelerate further, and I do believe a collision is on its way between them two, and this will be the kind of catalyst. It will come sadly at the expense of Sheamus, who has been trying to finally win the IC title, the one title he's not won in the company, and I therefore think that Bron Breakker will still be the champion. But I would imagine it won't be too long, maybe a certain Saturday night that's got a main event on it, till Sheamus does get that big W and that trophy added to his cabinet.
Then we move on to the Intercontinental Championship match. It is going to be Bron Breakker defending the title against Ludwig Kaiser and Sheamus. Now, don't forget, Sheamus has never won the Intercontinental Championship. I feel this could be Sheamus's big moment. Sheamus, I feel, is coming out of Survivor Series as the new Intercontinental Champion.
And then we got the US title on the line as well. LA Knight defending against Shinsuke Nakamura. Now, I don't really care. I love Nakamura, I love LA Knight, but if he wins it, if LA Knight loses it to Nakamura, then what does that do, really? Nakamura's had the US title. He needs a world title, and he should have got the world title, but that's, another conversation for another day. Alright, cool. So I don't think he's going to do it, because no. They keep bringing him back for random things like this. It usually puts him in the world title picture, and he doesn't win that. I don't think he's winning this either. LA Knight for me, I guess. Yeah.
Now, the next match is the US Championship match. LA Knight, I'm not doing the yeah, taking on the new and improved, it seems, returning Shinsuke Nakamura. It's quite interesting when someone returns after a lengthy absence, and it kind of shows the lack of depth that has been created in the SmackDown mid-card men's division. See, I'm not the biggest LA Knight fan. I said this previously on the podcast, so it's no surprise here that I'm not kind of reeling over this, but I do think it's annoying because Shinsuke's had mid-card championship previously and hasn't really done much with either of them. But is it the occasion where he does? I'm going to go with yes. And so I think we're going to see a new United States champion in Shinsuke Nakamura being crowned at Survivor Series.
Then talking of returns, as I mentioned earlier, another big return happened recently on SmackDown when Shinsuke Nakamura returned to attack LA Knight. These two will go one-on-one for the WWE United States Championship. And I do feel as though this may well go to Shinsuke Nakamura.
Alright, so thanks for watching the predictions for Survivor Series 2024. Join us on the Build Up Show and all of our content surrounding the PLE itself on the Rebellious Noise Pro Wrestling channel.